Hello gamers, welcome to Game Recaps. In this video, I will discuss the storyline of the game, Very Little Nightmares, which is a prequel to Little Nightmares 1. For your information, the storyline that I created is mostly a collection of theories from fans that I have deliberately summarized to make it easier for you to understand the storyline of Very Little Nightmares. So, feel free to tell me your opinions about this game in the comments section. And stay tuned for the discussion of the storyline and various theories of the Little Nightmares game series on this channel. So, please subscribe and support. Very Little Nightmares begins by showing a little girl wearing a yellow raincoat, nicknamed the Raincoat Girl, waking up from her nightmare in a floating hot air balloon. Raincoat Girl then releases the strings on the hot air balloon, sending her falling into an old house's attic. It should be noted that the Raincoat Girl in this game is not Six from the Little Nightmares 1 game, even though the appearance of the two is quite similar. Currently, Raincoat Girl is in a mansion called The Nest, which is filled with deadly traps and is on the edge of a cliff towering above sea level. Raincoat Girl's main goal is to descend the nest from one floor to another to escape from that terrible place. Shortly after she circled the area, she met a very frightened looking little girl whom I will refer to as Girl in White. Girl in White will continue to run to avoid Raincoat Girl and will be seen throughout the game. Inside the area, we will also find many cages that look exactly like the cages found in the Maw, the setting in the Little Nightmares 1 game. Raincoat Girl managed to save a child trapped there, indicating that the nest is not an ordinary mansion, but a prison. Like the Maw, the nest also has a security system in the form of the Eyes, which is in charge of monitoring the movement of the children and emitting a light that can turn anyone to stone. It also shows that somehow, the nest and the Maw have an unexplained relationship. As Raincoat Girl explores the nest deeper, the little girl will find a man nicknamed the Craftsman, who has very long arms and legs, making it very easy for him to catch the children. Even so, the Craftsman uses a wheelchair to facilitate his movement in the nest. The Craftsman is a prisoner at the nest who is hired to catch the children and make dolls. The Craftsman dolls look realistic because he uses the children as the basic material for making dolls. After capturing the children, the Craftsman then kills them and mutilates several body parts that are considered quite important in making dolls, as seen in one of the levels, where an area appears to be filled with salt to preserve meat. This shows that the Craftsman stored and preserved the body parts of its victims there. In addition, various wigs were also seen hanging on the wall, where the wigs came from the children's hair which would later be used as doll hair. Meanwhile, inside the Craftsman's residence, various rough leather stitches were seen. Usually the skins that are sewn like that are animal skins. But at the nest, no cows or other livestock were seen at all, which indicates that the skins are the skins of the children which will later be made into doll skins. So, all the dolls are made by the Craftsman really looks very real. It's terrifying. Raincoat Girl managed to escape from the Craftsman by hiding in a box, then descending using the elevator. After that, she went downstairs and saw a man who looked much more terrifying than the Craftsman, nicknamed the Butler. The man can move with his feet hovering a few inches off the floor. The Butler is always in a bent position with his hands shackled at the back, which shows that the Butler is also a prisoner in the nest. Just like the Craftsman employed in the nest, the Butler also has an important task in the nest, where he will always be seen doing daily tasks, such as cooking, washing clothes, bringing tea, and so on. However, the most terrifying thing about the Butler is that he has the power of telekinesis, which can move various objects around him without touching them. This is undoubtedly very useful for attacking anyone around him. Raincoat Girl then descends and arrives at the waste disposal area, where we can find various kinds of junk, one of which is the propeller of an airplane. This, of course, raises the suspicion that the residents of the nest had deliberately dropped a plane that was flying over the nest, then kidnapped the children on the plane and killed them. A large amount of trash in the area also implies that the nest may often receive visits from a special group of guests, such as the Maw, who often comes to enjoy the ladies' banquet. Raincoat Girl finally managed to escape from the Butler by entering a trap door and falling into the playroom. There are many gnomes on the floor, small creatures, with conical heads. One of Little Nightmares 1's DLC, entitled Secret of the Maw, revealed that gnomes used to be the children whose form was changed by the lady with her special power. The presence of gnomes in the nest indicates that the lady has lived in the nest, or at least has visited the nest. In addition to gnomes, we will also be shown with various and countless dolls, which can be found anywhere. The dolls can be seen sitting at the dining table, watching television or drinking tea together. At this level, Raincoat Girl finally confronts the main antagonist, a spoiled little girl who is very angry, nicknamed the Pretender. The Pretender is the ruler of the nest who always seems to be playing with the Craftsman dolls, which are known to be made from the children's body parts. However, the Pretender has a very lethal power, whereby the little girl can turn anything and anyone she touches into vapor. The interesting thing that we can find at this level is a frame with a photo of a person who hanged himself, which only shows the legs and shoes. This photo refers to a mysterious figure that we can also find in the Maw in Little Nightmares 1. Maybe this is just an Easter egg inserted by the game developer. But apparently next to the photo, another frame shows a family photo of the Pretenders. In the photo, you can see the Pretender standing in the middle, while on the right and left side you can see a pair of legs that are believed to be the Pretender's father and mother. The father's legs are exactly the same as those of the Hanged Man 6 met in the Maw. This suggests that the Pretender's father may have a relationship with the Maw. Indirectly, the absence of a father figure in her life makes the Pretender very lonely and obsessed with having friends to play with, because since childhood, she has always been alone and does not have a parent figure to accompany her. On the other hand, a person is seen wearing a white skirt which is believed to be the mother of the Pretender. Interestingly, the mother's stature is more or less similar to the teacher who will appear in the game Little Nightmares 2. A theory says that the Pretender's mother is a teacher who works in a certain area, and it is the woman who then directs the students to go to a specific area in the nest. Switch back to Raincoat Girl, where she finally makes it to the bottom floor and opens the main door of the nest. However, when she was about to get out of there, suddenly the butler appeared and immediately chased after her using the telekinesis ability. Raincoat Girl ran as hard as she could to escape from the butler, until she finally reached the front gate of the nest where Girl in White tried to open the gate. Together, they managed to open the front gate and escape from the nest. They both work hand in hand to face various obstacles. In the run, Girl in White suddenly stumbled and fell unconscious, so Raincoat Girl was forced to leave her and ran to a small house, then went in there and locked the door, ignoring Girl in White who had woken up and ran towards her. Feeling that the situation was safe enough, Raincoat Girl continued to run and crossed an area filled with piles of dolls, which made the Pretender who was sitting and immediately chase after Raincoat Girl. Raincoat Girl rushed down the hill, and on the other side, there was Girl in White who was also going down the hill, but unluckily, the Pretender managed to corner Raincoat Girl on the brink, while Girl in White was blocked by a large boulder. Seeing Raincoat Girl in danger, Girl in White then helped Raincoat Girl by dropping the big rock right on the Pretender. The two seem to be silent after seeing the Pretender lying helplessly. But it turns out that the Pretender is still alive, and it can be seen that the Pretender and Raincoat Girl then plunged into the sea. Not long after, the yellow raincoat that Raincoat Girl was wearing floated on the sea surface. While both Raincoat Girl and the Pretender were nowhere to be seen, and the game Very Little Nightmares ended. A yellow raincoat that floats on the sea surface indicates that Raincoat Girl may have died to stream from being touched by the Pretender, while the fate of the Pretender itself is uncertain. In the post-credit scene, it appears that Girl in White is slowly going down the hill to a boat moored below. Possibly, Girl in White is 6. After that, the little girl gets on a boat, grabs a floating yellow raincoat and puts it on, then heads to the Maw. But there is also a theory that Raincoat Girl has not died and managed to swim to reach the Maw. The mysterious girl who gives 6 a loaf of bread in the Maw is probably the Raincoat Girl, judging by the resemblance of their hair. In addition, seeing the many similarities between the Maw and the nest indicates that the two places are related. There is speculation that the Pretender is being prepared to replace the lady as ruler of the Maw, and the nest is a nest or place to prepare the Pretender. Well, that's a discussion about the Very Little Nightmares storyline, and a few theories from fans that I have summarized to make it easier for us to understand the storyline and its relationship with other Little Nightmares series. In the next video, I will discuss the storyline of the game Little Nightmares 2, which will bring up a new protagonist named Mono, and take the background of a land, or rather a city, called Pale City. After we discuss the 3 Little Nightmares game series, I will present various theories from the 3 series and try to find clues to solve various mysteries and answer a series of questions that make us very curious about this game. So stay tuned for other game recaps from this channel. Thank you for watching.